Good morning, everyone. How was your week? I hope you had a great week. Welcome to Helsing's Talk. I am Angelina, your host. Yes, and last week we have spoken about the first hell, okay, the hell of pillars, in which we were talking about lewd thoughts, okay, those things that encourage sexual misconduct, including those who in the pornography industry, those who have lewd thoughts, who commits adultery, who basically creates a negative influence on the social of the entire community. Okay, the community nowadays is actually being spread over to other countries as well, and the influence is great, not just to the two people involved in the sexual misconduct, but also to the children, because it makes children unable to believe in the marriage institutions anymore. Okay, so now we look at another hell. Okay, because the first hell, the hell of pillars, is about um, the one who committed the sin of sexual misconduct to hug on to the hot iron pillars, okay, burning and scorching their bodies, and then after they are being scorched, they are like cooked, basically cooked like your barbecue meat, and then they die, and then they relieve, and then they re it's just like continuous suffering, reborn and dead and reborn and dead, and still they encounter the same hugging onto the hot iron pillars and stuff. Okay, it is okay. It is hard for people to get out from hell the moment you get in. Okay, which is why it is important for you to understand the ways to prevent yourself from going to that path. Okay, why is it difficult? do I've always said that after you have finished your karmic situations that cause you into such anguish, okay, that brings you into that state, then you will be elevated to the next stage according to your um, karmic events, okay, the karmic seeds that you have planted. So when you have gone into hell, okay, like for example, this iron pillar hell, even though you have reincarnated, you will still need to repay for other sins, okay? And repaying for other sins include being reborn as animals, being um, reborn even as humans. You are lowly, you are disregarded by the society, you are not trusted, and there are a lot of things like people despise you, okay, even if they don't know you, they just automatically despise you. So that is something that is um it's just the consequences of it, okay, because you have to remember the moment you can, if you just don't look at the punishments of hell, okay, we talk about the society now. If we look at somebody who is in depression, okay, who is, let's say now everybody is facing a workplace, okay, some people, you have those labels of toxic workplace. When we look at a toxic workplace and a person is being um, tortured, okay, mentally tortured, every day you're experiencing a toxic colleague or a toxic boss who will just let's say gaslight you for everything that you do, even though the things that you do are good and you put in the effort and everything, and then they just suddenly just disregard it. Okay, you will feel that kind of maybe at first it's anger, okay, because you've put in the efforts, or maybe for some it is sadness, or maybe for some it's a discouragement. And to a certain way, I have often seen people who just say like, um, I propose, they don't want, then it's done, okay. In a way, that is also a form of self-protection to create a barrier to yourself, all right. And then in a way also, it is for some who is not able to create a barrier for themselves, not strong enough for the barrier, they will feel that kind of depression, they'll feel that they are not appreciated, they will feel different kinds of things. For those who are strong enough, they will be looking for other jobs, okay. But for some, they will think that I am strong enough to try to change the situation around, and then I will want to break the mentality of the management, Okay, or maybe just I'll just hang on in there until one day they will see the good in me. For me, it is why. Okay, it's up to you, right? Who All of us have different paths in our lives, so it is all based on the karmic situations. If you still continue to hold on to that, you know, that grudge or whatever feelings you have, then you won't be able to move on. Then you won't be able to receive the next karma that's coming onto you, because you keep accumulating that same grudge, digging the hole bigger and bigger until it becomes so big you will need an even stronger letting go to get into the next job. Okay, and things like that. So when we talk about hell, the torment, the agony that you feel during a punishment is actually so strong that you could not think. Eventually, you can't even remember any of the good that you have experienced in life. Okay, you cannot even think of any positivity. Okay, any good deeds that you have done in your previous life that can actually help you into it. You can't even think about pitying a fellow um, um, inmate. I don't know what to call it, but when you see another being tortured that way, you can't even feel pity for the other. Okay, why is it about the pity against another? Okay, when you're serving sentence, remember your conscience is still there, right? Regardless of which form of reincarnation that you experience, your conscience is still there. It's the thing that we call the spirit. Okay, the energy is still there. If, for example, if we were to look back at the past story by the our Lord Buddha, okay, Gautama Buddha, he was once sentenced to one of the heaviest realm of hell. Okay, it was meant to have endless suffering, but one day there was compassion in his heart. It arose when he saw a fellow inmate, a fellow, another person who was suffering in the same hell. He felt pity for this person, despite himself being in such condition. Okay, they were in the same hell. He felt pity for this other, and because of this compassion that arose in him, he immediately got out from this hell. Okay, this is the power of it. When you have compassion for another, you feel the modern terms we could call it empathy. Okay, but empathy, the compassion is more than just empathy. Compassion is about wanting the good of another, disregarding your own situation. Okay, compassion is wanting to give the equal chances or the equal goodness, not just an opportunity, okay, the equal goodness that everyone has. Okay, it's just a sharing. Everyone has equality, right, to the very minute of decisions. Okay, so that moment his compassion arise, that moment he got out from hell. Okay, so he got elevated and then stuff like that. All right, then when you're faced with that kind of agony, okay, do you feel pity for another who is also facing the same thing? Okay, do you feel the pain of another who is worse off than you? Or are you just wallowing in self pity? Okay, remember, self pity is actually not going to help you. Self pity will only drag you lower and lower and lower, because when you have self pity, and you're too indulged in your own thoughts, okay, you get stuck in a continuous loop of blaming another person for your misfortune. Okay, you get into the situation where you just want to get revenge. Okay, want to have your revenge against the person who has wronged you, against the people who wronged you. So if you just say like, I don't care, okay, they do whatever they want to me, I don't care, right? Let go. Okay, that is the first stage of letting go. You just let go for the sake of your own well-being. Okay, if you actually look at the other part of it, they are also doing it onto other people. I also pity these other people. Okay, you feel for them, you know how difficult it is. All right, And that is actually a form of compassion. Okay, you will feel that you want to help them. That is a form of compassion. But sometimes compassion can be taken advantage of. Okay, but that's fine. Okay, if your compassion is being taken advantage of, acknowledge that, know that, and to also understand that this person who tries to take advantage of your compassion has probably a past karma that you owe. Okay, that probably you just repay this karma, and then after that you don't have to pay anymore. Okay, then this person who took advantage of your compassion would have accumulated his or her own bad karma and will face the consequences eventually. So you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to waste your time thinking about it or agonizing about it. There's no need to. Okay, so now we look at the house of fire, iron bed. Okay, that one that makes you look like barbecue, Korean barbecue. Okay, the grill. Um, when you flip burgers, for example, you have that flat um, stove with that, that iron stove, and then you just flip. Okay, this is something like that. Okay, the hell of the iron bed. So how does it look like? If you've never seen burger stalls before, you may wonder how it looks like. So let me show you the picture of how this hell looks like. Okay, you all look at number 17. Okay, this one. Can you see it? Focus. Okay, there's this person who is lying on the flat bed. Okay, and then that bed is actually burning hot, burning, seriously burning, and then grilling that person on top. Okay, that is the hell of the iron bed. What are the acts that puts one into this iron bed? Okay. The hell of fire bed is like a cooking grill. Males who engage in sexual misconduct will be forced to embrace a copper pillar as females suffer on an iron bed. Remember the previous one where you hug that pillar? Okay, we read that those who like to take lives or cook flesh in various ways, or those who trample on small insects, come to this hell to suffer after their death. Okay, the period of suffering in this hell is inconceivably long. If they completely eliminate this type of karma for this hell, but they still have other karma, they will be sent to other hells to clear those karma. You see, there's no way of escape. You think that I have suffered this iron grill um, karma, then I don't need to suffer in other hells. No, this iron big karma is only for that particular seed that you've planted. Remember, whatever that you do in your entire lifetime, okay, and many lifetimes before this, okay, whatever you do, you're actually planting a huge field, an immense field with endless acres. Okay, so every single act that you do, you plant a seed. Okay, every single thing that you do, you plant a seed. So when you plant the seed of, let's say, this over here, it says about female engaging in sexual misconduct. Okay, just this morning I was reading a news about a particular country that is quite famous for its pornographic industry. Okay, they even have host services. Usually when we talk about all these host services, we're talking about prostitutions, we're talking about female providing sexual services to male. Okay, but in the country they have also overlooked in the law says that the engagement of male and female, so they have looked into a gray area of the law, so they look at female providing services to female. Okay, so they even popularize it through comics. They popularize this lewd thoughts of sexual engagement, unnatural sexual engagement in various medias. Okay, so they provide this kind of things. So it is it's become, to them, they have poisoned the minds of the people. Okay, they've poisoned the minds to think that this is actually something that is seen as normal, it is seen as natural. Okay, it is seen as something that you should just follow your body. All right, you have to remember, as a human, okay, as a human, you have the capability of controlling your desires. Okay, your brain is meant to control your body, not let your body control your brain. Okay, you are endowed with this gray matter up here. You need to be able to control your desires. Okay, not just only desire for sex, is also desire for money, is also desire for harming others, is also desire for alcohol, for drugs, for whatever. Okay, I've seen those who have become overwhelmed by their desires for drugs, for example. They just like the feeling of being hallucinated, okay, that dizziness. If for normal people, okay, for most of us general people, if we were to go on a roller coaster ride, okay, um there was once when I went to Hong Kong and I went on to the roller coaster ride at Ocean Park, and then uh, it went for several loops, and then came back dizzy. And I did suffer a situation where, upon coming back to Malaysia after my roller coaster rides in Hong Kong, I experienced a few days of memory loss. Okay, it's like, ooh, overwhelmed. Okay, but there are people who do this constantly, right? By taking intoxicants, alcohol, okay, numbing themselves away from those things that they call as the problems of the daily lives. Okay, or those who just there are also those who just numb themselves through the intake of drugs. Okay, taking pills or drinking, I don't know what to call that in English. Okay, but there are in Malaysia or in Indonesia, there are those who drink something which we call ketum. Okay, so those things are like, they just cause hallucinations. All right, they just make you dizzy and then make you sleep. Okay, those are sloth. Those are torpor. You feel tired, and then you will feel that you desire more. Okay, this is when the drug already overwhelmed your brain. Okay, letting your body take control of you. Right? Why do you allow your body to take control of your brain? The differentiation between a human and an animal or whatever is that humans are able to control using the brains. Right? We are capable of logical thinking. We are capable of different types of um, I will say critical thoughts, okay? Critical thinking. You should be able to differentiate the good and the bad. You should be able to differentiate between the right and the wrong. But if you let your body overtake your mind and to let your body control your mind, what have you become? Right? So when a female or even a male, when you allow your body to take over your mind, you have to be prepared for the consequences of it, because you don't control your own desires. Okay, there are those. All right, if I were to look at the situations where there are those who try to control their um, outlet of physical pent up stress by shopping. Okay, they just keep spending. Okay, became a shopaholic. They can't control their desire to spend just to relieve the the stress that they have. So shopaholics may experience the situation where they become um engulfed in debt. Okay, shopaholics or gambling. Okay, gamblers are worse, because gamblers, you just go to the casino and then people will see that you have already um, exhausted your funds, and then they'll just lend you money, right? And then your desire to gamble, your desire for greed, was it for greed, or was it for something else? I'm not even sure of what is, the psychology of it. But if you cannot control the greed, all right, usually if you want to go for light gamble, it's just termed as entertainment, right? So you take 100, for example, you take 100, you lose that 100, and then you just stop. All right, you are able to control. your desires. But for those who go in, you bring 100 and then you exhaust that 100 and then you still feel you want to continue with it, and then you start piling on, borrowing money and then piling on debts. Okay, that very situation itself, the start of that borrowing to gamble, is actually accumulating your debt, right? Bringing forth, planting the seed to grow that tree of debt. All right. So you see, it is exactly how karma works. Okay. So if you can control yourself, okay, control your emotions, control your body desires, control and just know and understand that this life itself is just as how it is. All right. There are some people who are overwhelmed by the desire of their fame. Okay. Some people, they work in only one company. All right. And throughout the careers of 20 over years, they only work in one company, and then they build their power in this company because they stayed there long enough. Okay, it's just like you stay in a residential area long enough, and then people just know you, and then they just call you, right? You think that it's out of respect. Wow, everybody respect me because I'm here long enough. Okay, did you contribute? Not too sure. You're just here long enough, and then to go into all these kind of um, promotions. Okay, people just give you because you're long enough to know the things that are happening around there. But are you really that qualified? That is another story. Okay, so we're not going into that path, but to know that all these things, why are you in one company, or why are there people who are job hopping? Okay, it is all also based on karma. Okay, your karmic association with this company, like for example, I have a karmic association with a particular person in this company, so I get transferred out from a previous company into a new company. Okay, out of association with this group of people. And how long do I stay in the company will depend on my past karmic association with these people. So the moment I have already completed my karmic association with them, be it 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, 20 years, right? Then it expires. It's just like friendship, okay? Some people have long-lasting friendship. Some people have very short gaps of friendship. Some people, it's just a touch and go. You just come into the life of this person, help this person solve the problem, or this person helped you to solve the problem, and then that's it. The ties are cut. You try to reach out to that person, it doesn't work anymore. You just couldn't find time for it, or you just don't have anything in common to talk about anymore, right? So it is not so much about the effort of wanting to stay in touch. Okay, a lot of people now you're talking about putting the effort to stay in touch, but it's not necessarily that way. Okay, it's just that, do you still have the karmic association with this other person? Okay, so we come back to this one. If you like to look at how this happens, okay, you just look at the sexual misconduct itself, and then this person after death, right? Because of the constant habit of feeling that kind of heat. So you want heat, I will grill you on the iron bed. Okay, you like hot, so let's grill. Okay, that is how it is. You like to trample on insects. Okay, the insects are so tiny, their lifespan is actually so small, so short. All right, you use your gigantic forces to trample them to death. Okay, or when you cook, all right, a lot of people, I know there are a lot of chefs out there, okay, who will cook in various ways, okay, just to satisfy the palate. Like you have cooking shows that says that, oh, how you're going to grill that meat, how you're going to bake that piece of animal flesh, okay, how you're going to cook the fish and blah blah blah, etc. Okay, this is not a talk to encourage you into vegetarianism, but if let's say we are looking at this iron bed thing, okay, we're looking at how the animal flesh is being refined to satisfy your palate. Okay, for those who can have a for those with a third eye who can see, all right, you have to realize that, for example, animals, okay, from the farms, when you kill them, okay, it does not mean that they just die and that's it. Okay, oftentimes even for humans, when we perform a funeral for a person, okay, why is it that in the Chinese customs or in other customs there are rules about the 7 days, about the 49 days, about the 100 days, and then you have a ceremony and stuff like this? When a person's soul leaves the body, it does not necessarily mean that this person is ready to let go of the body. Right? We know there's the attachment, especially for those who likes to, apply all kinds of ICI on the body, or to take the body too much as themselves, that they forget that your real self is just that energy source inside you, which is the real Buddha inside you. That is the only real thing. This body is just like your temporary shelter. Okay, but a lot of people, they pay a lot of attention to it, especially those who have taken the path of being a celebrity. Okay, especially those who have taken the path of being a KOL, or an influencer. Right? So what do? They just identify themselves by their body. Okay, they identify themselves even like when they see like, oh, one white hair, oh, I need to dye my hair into a color and things like that. Okay, people who are unable to accept the changes in the physical appearance, who will do all kinds of things just to make sure that there's no fine lines, there's no pores. I have a lot of pores actually, but the camera is doing a really great job of not capturing me in HD. Okay, so light hair, pores, and whatever not, they pay too much attention to this body. Okay, so when they do that, if let's say their soul leaves their body, they could not accept that they can no longer claim ownership of the body. Same for the animals. Okay, so that's why in, for example, the Muslim society, right, they have this ritual where they will say prayers when they are killing the animal for their flesh. Right, as a Buddhist, someone just people just keep asking me, "Are you a Christian?" I said, "No, I'm not Christian." Then why do you pray before you eat? Well, how do I pray before I eat? Before, when my plate comes, okay, when my food comes, I just put my hands together and I chant Ami for 10 times. Okay, why do I do that? In one way, it is a part of my practice to ensure that I have at least 9 times of chanting Ami for uh 9 times a day, 10 times each time. Okay, it is part of the practice that Venerable Master Chin Kung had preached. Okay, uh, and then that is also another situation. I'm thankful for those that have made this meal possible, right? Including, if let's say I'm taking meat, including the animal whose flesh that I'm consuming. I'm thankful to this for your nourishing my body. Okay, because if you have a third eye, when you look at this animal being slaughtered, being killed, all right, when the person cook the meat, actually part of the animal's soul is there. If you grill, if you cook in whatever way, the animal feels the pain, still feels the pain. Okay, especially those four-legged ones like the cow, the pig, right? All this, they will feel the pain and they will want to revenge for your consuming their flesh. All right, so when they linger on this way, is actually part of what we call it as the ghost realm. Okay, but we won't go into that. So when you do all these things, you are actually committing a pain. Okay, you are causing pain to another being. So that's why this is your hell. Okay, the iron grilling hell. Okay, the iron plate. All right, so after you have suffered over here enough to eliminate the the cause of this, you still have other karma, because very likely if you commit this kind of sexual misconduct, you would have also lied to the society, you would have done a lot of other things as well. You will be sent to other hells. And upon your completion of your punishment in all these other hells, then only you'll be able to elevate to go into another existence. Okay, you finish the punishment, then only you can get into reincarnation. How long does it take for you to finish this punishment? Very long. Okay, because the human years compared to the years in hell, it is of a different time zone. Okay, you have known the leaps and bounds of it, you have looked at the signs. Okay, when you go to space, your hour 1 month is probably just a few hours in space, and now we're talking about a different dimension, the dimension in hell. Okay, so it is not that easy for you to get out from there. Okay, so at the same time, we will look at the second house in hell. Okay, because now we are only at 30 minutes, so we can continue looking at the second house in hell, the hall of King Chu Jiang. Okay, who is King Chu Jiang? King Chu Jiang is in charge of the second hall, hell of life. Okay, hell of life, known as the great hell of lasting suffering. Okay, we are forced to come here due to countless killings in our former life. The punishment will be in accordance with each and every particular type of killing that we have committed. One gets killed the same way in which one killed others. Beings come to this hell of life due to their love of killing in their previous lives. If the degree of killing can be classified into 3 levels, there would be 3 levels of corresponding hells. In short, the punishment depends on one's karma, and one can be sent to as many as 16 places for punishment. One goes to other hells after completing the suffering here. The punishment can last hundreds or thousands of years. The levels of suffering increases at each of the 16 places. They are linked successively. The torture seems endless. Okay. Right from the very start, okay, when we talk about vegetarianism, right, we encourage you to stop killing other beings for the consumption of their meat. Okay, this is one way of trying to stop you from going into this hell. Okay, when you think about, okay, I don't know whether they still have that kind of market over where you are, but when I was young, I followed my aunts and my mom to the market, to the wet market, and my aunt would just, like, you get to select which chicken you want from that cage. Okay, there are many chickens in the cage, and then she will just select one, and then when after she has selected that one cage, then that from one chicken from the cage, then the seller just pull that chicken out from that cage, and then bend the chicken neck over, and then just slit the throat like that. Okay, kill the chicken instantly. All right, so this act of killing, when this person committing the act of this killing going into this hell, okay, following King Chu Jiang's hall, all right, he will be sent to this hall, and he will experience the same kind. People will, the goblins punishing him down there will just pull him over and slit his throat as well. Okay, so as many chickens as he sells, that's also as many lives that he has taken, and he will continue to suffer. All right, that one is in context of animals. When we are looking at the context of wars, okay, these days in wars, you can imagine some people are going to be in this hell for a very, very long time, countless of aeons. Okay, unlimited suffering. Sometimes when we look at in ancient China, there was this story about this the butchers, pig farmers. When they kill the pig for the flesh, they will chant one stanza saying that, "Pig, oh pig, please don't blame me. All right, I am just carrying out my duties. If you want to search for revenge, please seek for the one who eats your flesh." Okay, because if you don't have the demand, then this butcher don't need to kill the pig. He won't be in the vocation. He won't be able to earn from the killing. He won't benefit from it. So he'll have to change vocation. All right, so the pig farmer will stay such a stanza to the pig. So if you want to seek for revenge, go find the person who eats you. Okay, this is how people of the past, they know the correlation. People of the past, they realize that there is such a correlation between their deeds today and the seeds that they reap tomorrow. So they try hard to lessen their karma. Whether it works or not, don't ask me. But you know, when we look at the wars today, there are bio warfares, there are downright bombing, there are mass killing. Recent years, there's also a genocide. Okay, the killing of the old, the killing of the young, the killing of infants, killing of children, killing of mothers, killing of an entire family. The elimination. How do they eliminate it? Through a bomb. Okay, or maybe you just, some experience torture when they are being killed. For example, they may experience being tied. There are instances in the past where the person is being tied, hands, sleeves, everything. Okay, tied, and then tied to what? Each part of the body is being tied by ropes attached to horses. Okay, so the killing is such that the horses will then be dispersed to run in different directions, pulling the ropes, all right, thus tearing the person apart. If the sinner, the person who commits this act of killing another by this form of torture, then this person will fall into this place where he will also be tied and be severed into many pieces. Okay, in warfare, the one who enjoyed giving out the orders to kill another through bombs, through missiles, through guns, okay, through any weapon at all, okay, because of the fondness of giving such instructions, because of that coldness that allows this to go on without a single feeling of compassion, of pity to the victims. While the mortal world is not able to punish, the immortal world will punish. Okay, that's why many people, especially now, many people are looking at when will this person pay for the karma, right? Be assured that this person who commits such act will pay for the karma for hundreds of thousands. In fact, I will say that for this one, 100,000s of years in this hell. Okay, because if we look at the powerful weapons that are being deployed nowadays, okay, if you talk about bioweapons, the pain that you have conjured, the kind of diseases that you have created, okay, in your quest to try eliminating an entire race or an entire country, okay, not only did the bioweapon come back to your own country and to your own family as well, right? When you die, you go down there, and then you will also be suffering from that same kind of pain, same kind of way of death. Okay, you suffer. You will be punished when you're talking about an entire warfare using weapons. Okay, you kill people who are innocent. Okay, true. Some people may say that in the past life, probably these people killed him, but after you have paid those and you continue excessively to do so, even if they have wronged you in the past, you will still be thrown into this hell to continue suffering. Okay? How will this person suffer? How will this person who gives the um, instructions to destruct another nation, to kill another person, how will that be? Okay? You will look at, you can just look at the images of the victims. Okay? Gruesome images where the person bombed may lose part of their head, lose their limbs, okay, or maybe just have several holes on their bodies. Okay, however you, whichever way that you use to kill another, that is how you will be tortured in this hell again and again and again. The more lives you consume, the more lives you kill, the longer you're suffering, because you stripped off the lifespan of another being. You will need to repay the lifespans of these beings. Okay, is it a 1-to-1 ratio? I don't know. All right, so there are 16 places, so you can imagine, linked successively, the level of suffering increases as each of these 16 places. All right, we will see. I will stop here at this moment because we are going to look at how those 16 places are. Okay, it starts with the hell of stomach piercing. Kind of gruesome. Okay, there are pictures that I can show you. Okay, you want to know how Chu Jiang, Master Chu Jiang looks like. Okay, this is Master Chu Jiang. Okay, this is just a painting of Master Chu Jiang, right? And then, yeah, next we'll go to look at the hell of stomach piercing next week. Okay, so until then, I'm not too sure whether this is enough to convince you to stop killing or to bring more awareness of your own actions, to encourage you for mindfulness in your acts. I'm not sure, but I do hope that the main reason for me to have this Helsing's talk is not to scare you. Okay, the main reason for me to have Helsing's talk is actually to bring awareness to the different kinds of punishment that you may encounter if, let's say, you continue to live your life recklessly, right? So the awareness is to let you know that each action will have its consequences, and the more gruesome your acts are, the more gruesome your punishment will be. Everything is based on karma. Whatever you do to another will come back to you. Okay, even though we don't see it now in this present existence, you can be very sure that the repercussions will be there in the next existence, because karma never fails, karma never skips. Okay, so until then, we shall meet again next week. Okay, if you're not too worried about the not too afraid to look at these consequences, then I hope that you stay on to watch the hell scenes. Alright? Until then, please be more mindful of what you're doing. Alright? See you next week. Bye. Amitabha.